Callaway Warbird versus Callaway Supersoft. These are absolutely two of the most popular value balls sitting on the rack at every single pro shop in America.
We all know that exact feeling of standing at the counter, completely guessing which box to grab. It's incredibly frustrating to stripe a gorgeous drive, only to watch it slice deep into the trees simply because you bought the wrong construction for your swing. Choosing the incorrect ball is a massive, scorecard-killing mistake. Wasting your hard-earned cash hurts just as much, right? Today, we are bringing you a direct head-to-head battle explainer to stop the guessing once and for all. One ball is built for raw, old-school distance with a much firmer cover. The other is engineered entirely around ultra-low compression for straight, easy shots. We won't reveal the winner just yet, but let's drop the green flag and get right into this matchup.
Welcome back to Golf Gear Showdown, where we test golf gear head-to-head so everyday golfers can make smarter buying decisions. I'm Jake, your everyday 15 handicapper, and I'm Mike, your data and specs guy. Here is the classic pro shop scenario we all fall into at some point. You walk in, see two affordable two-piece Callaway balls sitting side by side with a $25 price tag, and naturally assume they perform exactly the same. Well, that is a massive budget ball trap.
Weekend golfers fall for this marketing hype constantly. Just because two boxes sit next to each other on a shelf literally does not mean they belong in the same golf bag. These two options launch at completely different flight windows. They also react wildly differently around the greens. Picking the wrong one can cause your driver to overspin or leave your putts clanking harshly off the putter face.
To settle this definitively, we are judging this matchup across 6 decisive rounds. We'll run through distance and performance, forgiveness, accuracy and control, feel and confidence, price and value, and finally, golfer fit.
Stick around for that final fit breakdown at the very end. It holds a surprising reality check for most everyday golfers, and the ball that looks better on paper might not actually be the one that lowers your scores. Let's step onto the tee box.
All right, kicking things off with round 1, distance and performance. Let's see which ball actually gives you more yardage when you pull the big stick. When you're shopping for a budget golf ball, yardage is usually the very first headline blasted on the box. Based on design intent, the Callaway Warbird is an absolute rocket. Callaway specifically designed it with a highly resilient core and a firmer ionomer cover. That specific two-piece construction creates really high initial ball speed and lower drag. You end up with a strong, penetrating trajectory that rolls out aggressively down the fairway. Hold on a second though, Mike. The Supersoft uses a hyper-elastic, low-compression core. For average swings like mine, that easy compression translates to completely effortless carry distance. Most golfers report that the Supersoft just jumps off the club face without requiring a 110-mile-per-hour tour swing. I definitely hear you, Jake. However, if you actually have a faster swing speed, you'll overcompress the Supersoft at impact. Fast swings lose a noticeable amount of raw carry and rollout compared to the firmer Warbird. Because of that distinct advantage off the tee, the Warbird is the clear winner for golfers wanting maximum distance.
We have a massive approach shot debate coming up soon that reveals something most golfers completely miss, so keep watching. But first, let's hit round 2, forgiveness. Let's talk about ease of use. Most of us watching this explainer are certainly not hitting the dead center of the club face on every single swing. Think about the classic American golfer slice. What exactly happens when you catch one off the toe or come across the ball with an out-to-end swing path? This is where the engineering of the Callaway Supersoft truly shines. Its ultra-low compression core and soft cover formulation generates significantly lower side spin off the driver and long irons. Less side spin means that when you hit a pulling hook, the ball fights to stay straight instead of curving off the planet. Common feedback suggests the Warbird's firmer core and cover combination can actually accentuate side spin on your mishits.
Exactly right. If you tend to slice your driver, the Warbird curves much wider into the trees than the Supersoft. Keeping your golf ball in the short grass matters so much more than finding it 5 yards further in the woods. Because it actively keeps you in play, Supersoft easily wins round 2.
Moving right along, round 3 is accuracy and control.
How predictable is your dispersion pattern? Neither of these models will spin backward on a green like a premium 4-piece urethane tour ball. They are simply 2-piece distance balls designed to reduce spin across the board. Which means we really have to evaluate trajectory. The Warbird flies on a flatter, more boring flight path. When the wind picks up, that penetrating flight is fantastic for cutting through gusts.
I have to completely disagree on prioritizing the wind here. Holding greens matters way more for saving par. Accuracy is where the Supersoft absolutely dominates. Because it launches high with low spin, it relies entirely on a high apex and a steeper descent angle to stop softly on the putting surface. Meanwhile, when that firmer Warbird lands on a hard green with an 8-iron, it tends to release and bounce aggressively forward past the pin.
By the way, we've got a huge warning on the biggest buying mistake coming up in round 6.
Seriously, do not miss that. But for this round, the Supersoft flies straighter off the club face and lands softer on the greens. Supersoft takes round 3.
Now we arrive at round 4, feel and confidence.
Feel is entirely subjective, yet it heavily impacts your psychology over the golf ball. It's often the #1 reason a player loves or hates a specific model. The Supersoft completely lives up to its name, for sure. Off the putter face, it feels like absolute butter. It is quiet, plush, and incredibly soft. Off the driver and wedges, there is almost no harsh vibration traveling up the shaft into your hands. I actually prefer the exact opposite. Some golfers really hate that marshmallow softness. The Warbird delivers a much firmer, traditional, crisp click at impact. That lively acoustic feedback tells you exactly where you struck the club face. I am totally overruling you here, Mike. It just sounds entirely too hard and clicky to me. For the everyday golfer, that plush feeling from the Supersoft gives you so much confidence to swing freely without fear of a stinging miss. Supersoft wins round 4 outright. Round 5 is price and value. Let's talk about protecting your wallet.
Mike is likely the main reason you're watching this comparison explainer in the first place. Here is your smart shopper move that most folks miss. If your primary goal is buying a reliable, brand-name golf ball at the absolute lowest cost per round, the Warbird is routinely sold in larger bulk value packs. It makes it incredibly affordable if you're someone who loses a lot of balls in the water hazards. Both models remain heavily discounted compared to premium tour balls. The Supersoft does cost slightly more per dozen than the Warbird, though. It does, which makes the Warbird cheaper on paper. True, but we are looking for the best overall value here. The Supersoft wins round 5 definitively. For the vast majority of players, the performance upgrades you get, specifically that slice-reducing forgiveness and the premium feel, absolutely justify spending a few extra bucks. Supersoft is the best value investment for your game.
Stick around, because right after this, we are diving into the biggest buying mistake you can make. But right now, round 6 is golfer fit. Let's rapid-fire assign these winners so you know exactly what to play.
Beginners, Supersoft, to easily get the ball airborne with a slower swing. Mid-handicappers, Supersoft, because you desperately need that greenside control to scramble and save par.
Fast swing speeds?
Warbird, so you don't overcompress the core and lose your power transfer. Seniors, Supersoft, to smoothly translate a slower tempo into a higher launch angle.
Absolute budget buyers?
Warbird bulk packs all day long, to keep your wallet heavy while your golf bag gets light.
That brings us to some real insider advice on the single biggest buying mistake golfers make. Choosing a ball based solely on brand loyalty or raw distance marketing while completely ignoring compression is a massive trap.
I almost did that myself when I first started playing. I bought a dozen Warbirds just because Phil Mickelson plays Callaway, thinking I'd hit absolute bombs down the fairway. I didn't have anywhere near the swing speed required to activate that firmer core, and my scorecard suffered tremendously.
Lots of players buy the Warbird expecting tour-level spin just because it says Callaway on the cover. Or they swing at 105 miles per hour with the Supersoft and wonder why their drives are ballooning and falling ridiculously short. You literally have to match the ball's compression to your specific swing speed and your usual miss. Please do not just shop for the shiny logo on the box.
Let's lay out the honest pros and cons. We never protect any brand's ego on this show. Warbird pros: excellent raw distance, super low cost, and a ridiculously durable cover. You can bounce that thing off 3 separate cart paths and it still plays totally fine on the next hole. Warbird cons: it carries a noticeably firmer, clicky feel and gives you very low approach spin around the greens. Supersoft pros: incredible slice-reducing forgiveness and an extremely soft, pleasant feel off every single club in your bag. Supersoft cons: fast swings will absolutely overcompress it, and it does cost slightly more per dozen than the Warbird.
It's time for our final verdict across the board.
Best for beginners? Supersoft. Mid and high handicaps? Supersoft again. Best for pure forgiveness? Supersoft.
But max distance goes to the Warbird.
Best value? Supersoft takes it. What if you have no budget limit whatsoever? Neither of these, honestly. Go buy a premium Chrome Tour. Shopping the used market? Warbirds are practically free. Seniors? Supersoft.
That brings us to the overall crown for this direct head-to-head battle. The Callaway Supersoft is the definitive winner for the vast majority of everyday American golfers, period.
Now it's your turn. What is your current handicap, and which ball actually wins for your specific game? Drop your pick down in the comments below.
If this head-to-head explainer helps save your scorecard, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for our upcoming Distance Driver Showdown, where we truly test the big sticks. Thanks for watching Golf Gear Showdown. Play smart, and we'll see you on the next tee box.